everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are here for the second time, thank you so much for being here. If you are here for the first time, please do all the nice things below, like liking, commenting, subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And as you guys can see from the title, today I will be talking about the good old argument of nature versus nurture. So are you born evil? Are you born a criminal? Are you born a menace in society? Or does your environment create this monster and this person that you have no intention of becoming? So yeah, that's what I'll be talking about today, and I might have views that you don't agree with or something like that, and that's okay. That's why we're individuals. The whatever I'm about to say is from the knowledge that I have. So yeah, you guys can tell me what you think in the comment section. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let's get into it. Okay, so with nature, it definitely starts with the genetics. So long ago days, there used to be a list of how a criminal looks, like actual physical features of what a criminal looks like. So maybe broad shoulders, big ears, small nose, whatever. They had physical characteristics of what a criminal looks like, which is bogus, because who looks like a criminal? Like, what are you saying? And also there is the behavior part of it, where you inherit, I guess, behavior from your parents. So maybe your dad was a very aggressive person, or he was a criminal, like whatever type of crime he committed, and then you take his aggressiveness and just his whole attitude and disposition, and then your child has the same, and then it creates a cycle of intergenerational criminality. Yeah, and then I think also these people have real mental illnesses, like schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever mental illness that they're born with, and you can't help it. You're born with it, you know what I mean? And I guess that's why they don't have the same behavior as us, reasoning capacity as us. Their brain just functions differently, and that's why maybe they don't follow social rules, because they don't reason like us. They don't see things the way we see. They don't have a problem with killing 5 women. It is what it is, in their mind. And then some of them are not born with mental illnesses, but maybe you get into an accident or something and you hit your head and something shakes in your head. I don't know the neurological things, but something moves in your head. I think most of the time it's like the amygdala or something. And yeah, and it changes your behavior. It changes, again, your reasoning capacity, the way you take in information, social norms, social rules. It changes everything. It changes the game. And that can also happen. And I think also some people just lack a conscious. They are consciousness. Their consciences do not work normal, right? So they genuinely do not care about stealing people's phones. They don't care about stealing people's cars. They're just wired like that. They do not care. And with mentally ill people, I think even if you take them to mental institutions to get them help, they get psychologists and whatever, their behavior just is the same. They have the same criminal behavior. They have the same they just don't get it. They don't get social norms, social rules. So I think that's another way you can see that somebody is just born different, is just born evil. Yeah, even if you get them help, the help doesn't help, because that's just the way their mind works. You cannot tell them different. You cannot influence them different. You cannot. Yeah, it is what it is. And then some people are just manipulative. In my opinion, some people are just plain greedy, deceptive, calculating. And those are the people in normal society that we see. They have a family, they drive nice cars, they go to work, like they have a conventional life. In society, they fit in just fine. and then they hire a hitman to kill the wife, or the wife hires a hitman to kill the husband. Those are calculating people, because they look so normal, they live normal lives just like us. But in here, my boy, that's why I don't trust anybody, because you never know what anybody is thinking. So yeah, so there are also those people manipulative as hell. And sometimes, like when you watch interrogation, whatever, and they're doing the interrogations, and the person is crying hysterically, right, during the interview, and then the detectives or whoever leaves the room, and then they are calm, they're back to being themselves, they're singing their favorite song or whatever, and then the detectives comes back in the room, and then they start crying again hysterically, but act and what. Deception. That, for me, like, you are born crazy at that moment, because you're very deceptive, you're very calculating. You'll never leave your DNA around, because you're calculating your moves. You already know, one, I did do this crime, so if I leave my DNA around, they will catch me, and I cannot make it that easy for them. So what do? You never smoke around them, you don't drink water around them, you don't do that, like, you don't participate. So anyway, yeah, so they're very, and those are the ones also who will plead insanity. Those are the ones who will who think they know how to cheat the system, and they will try to plead insanity, and they will try to get maybe a lesser sentence, or even get dismissed or something, because they want to plead as a psychopath, or they have bipolar or whatever. And most of the time it doesn't work, because so yeah, another thing is, even though people are born in a good environment, good home, where parents they were outstanding citizens, not outstanding, but like normal jobs, your siblings are okay, they went to school like everybody else, they played sports, they did normal things, and it's just you're the one who went the other way. You're the one who is a criminal. You're the one who was always naughty, or, well, I think every child is naughty, but like, you're the one who was always just in trouble. You're the one who just, everybody always just has a problem with you. You have the you steal, you lie, you're just the problematic one in the family. But also, that could, as much as you are different from the whole family, which means maybe you just born different to everybody else, it might be your environment as well. Maybe your parents did something that you didn't like, or your siblings, and you changed as a person because of an experience that you had. But yeah, we'll get into that. So yeah, even if they brought up in a good environment, a good home, they're still different from everybody else. They're still different from everybody they grew around. Yeah. And then the last one I have is that there's a lot of delinquency and behavioral problems with people who I think are born that way. Like, their behavior is telling from a very young age. They're very problematic from a very young age. Like I just mentioned, like, you're always in trouble. Maybe you like burning stuff. Maybe you like killing animals. Maybe you like just things that normal kids don't do. You like doing. It excites you. It gives you a thrill, stuff like that. So yeah, those are my like young list of things that I would consider with a person who is born that way. So next, I'm gonna go into nurture. So yeah, let's get into that one. Alright, so now I'm gonna move on to the nurture part of it. So nurture would be the influences you have in your life, the way you're brought up, your environment, your experiences, right? So I think I wanted to start by saying that men and women were, more than now, they were socialized very differently. Like, a man was socialized to be aggressive, to be assertive, to be a man, to have a presence, Whereas women were socialized to be more passive, innocent, ladylike, keep it cute. And I think that's why maybe in past years more than now, men were more likely to create more aggressive crimes, more crimes that needed more of a physical presence, and just guns and all those things, like, because maybe it's the way they were brought up, it's the mentality that they have. Whereas a woman wouldn't dare to do that type of crime. They would maybe do an economic crime that is more like, you don't need like fraud or something like that, and prostitution and other types of crimes that are not so in your face. So I think so the socialization counts a lot, because it affects the way we behave in society. And then I wanted to say also, with nurture, the parents or the people, the older generations reputations have a lot of influence on the young ones. Because say now my dad was a criminal, my dad maybe now or something, right? And then now when people look at his whole family, they might label the whole family, and me as the dad's child, I'm labeled as now Lena Uto because Papa or something like that. And then I take it to heart and I start doing those things because they labeled me most. They already see me as a thief, so I might as well do it because that's what they expect. Let me give them what they want. And so that's the other way that intergenerational criminality can happen, just by the stigma that comes with having a parent or a sibling or whoever, who is a criminal, or a menace in society. And then these people who are born in like very violent environments where there's a lot of violence, substance abuse, there's neglect, identity. It's just a very rough household or a very rough neighborhood. They are more likely to take in like the behavior around them is very crime filled. So what else are they gonna do? Because that's what is available to them. So it's like when you don't know better, you can't do better kind of thing. So those people also might be very angry at the world because, well, damn, I was born into such a mess. So now what must I do? Like, and then they exert, I think that's the right word, their anger to the world by being a menace in society, by being a criminal, by joining gangs, whatever the case may be. So that's another thing to consider. And then whereas the other one where I said born as with the manipulators, I think these ones maybe are more likely to be easily manipulated. So they're easily spoken, like you can easily tell them to do something wrong, like your friends, peer pressure. Let's go hijack a car, they are there within. Let's go burn the school down, they are there within. Like they're just easy to manipulate and to influence, and to, like, if it was left up to them, they wouldn't even think of going to hijack. But because a friend said let's go hijack, they go with the flow, with the wind. They okay. And then the next one, there's some experiences in life, right, when you get to the adulting stage especially, that are tough, and people don't have money, poverty, abuse, those things they not influence, but they force you to make decisions that you wouldn't have made if you were in if you were in a better situation. Like maybe you have rent to pay, you have school fees, you have children or whatever, and you have to fend for them, you have to feed them, you have to feed yourself, you have to survive, and there's no jobs, there's nothing legal that you can do to rely on. So I think when you're in that situation, you can easily go and do like a drug run or something because you want quick money. And so there are some situations in life that you have to make a decision and it's not a good decision. Like also abuse, maybe you're being abused at home, physically, sexually, financially, and you decide I can't stay here, I need to leave, and you decide to run away from home. If you have a stable place, a good place to run to, fantastic. But there are people who have nowhere to run to, they end up in the streets. If you're a girl, you end up doing prostitution. And yeah, so there are very many reasons why people get into crime. I say that because yeah, prostitution is still a crime. So anyway, there are many reasons why people commit crimes, and it's not, if they were in a better position, they wouldn't have done it. If they had money, they would have never even thought of doing a crime. So that's another way your environment can influence the decisions that you make and can actually make you a criminal. And yeah, I think that was my last point. But in closing, let me say for myself, when it comes to nature versus nurture, this whole argument, for me, your nurture, your environment exposes your nature. Because like I just said now, with a person who is desperate for money or something, there are people who are desperate for money and they would never in a million years consider doing anything illegal. They are angels, you know, they'll never, like, ever in life do anything illegal. And I'm not one of those people. But there are people like that. So I feel like if you do commit a crime, no matter what situation you were in, I feel like people always say we all have the ability to commit a crime. We all have an ability to, yeah, commit murder is pushing it, but yeah. But we all have that ability in us. And that's where I stand. I say that your experiences, your nurture, just expose your nature. They expose who you are. But in saying that, it's unfair to say that because some people are born okay, and then they're just born into environments that are very vile and unstable, and they just, in order to survive that environment, they have to make do with, you know, what they have, legal or illegal. So yeah, you guys can let me know what you guys think with this whole nature versus nurture thing. It's obviously one influences the other. Yeah, they are interlinked, whatever. Yeah, so you guys can tell me what you think. Is it a 50-50 thing, 60-40, 70-30? Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to do all those nice things below. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next time.